Postmodern Art Podcast, a podcast dedicated to giving artists who are wowing the world over the platform they deserve. I'm your host, Nathan Ragland, and welcome back to Amateur April, the time of year where I shine a spotlight on some of the best and brightest people that are coming up in the art world today. And as the conductor for this podcast train, well, there's certainly no stopping this one once we get it going on the track, so sit down and enjoy a quality conversation, if I do say so myself. Today's guest is Isaiah Ferguson, a absolutely talented animator, model maker, musician, puppeteer, and so much more. Known for his incredible stop-motion masterpieces and his wonderful enthusiasm for trains. Isaiah is someone that really grabbed my attention this past Christmas with a certain video that we'll definitely be talking about many times throughout the video. A certain appreciation for a lunch meat, if you don't know what I'm talking about beforehand. Regardless, I was excited for this conversation, but actually getting to sit down and talk to Isaiah, the absolute energy and passion that he seemingly has for this craft, it's a absolutely amazing conversation that you do not want to miss. If you enjoy Isaiah, please make sure to support him with the links down in the description below. If you enjoyed the podcast, make sure you like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. Leave 5 stars wherever you can. You know I see that stuff, and you know I absolutely love it. If you want to go a little further with that support, may I recommend checking out the Outstanding Merch Shop, where we currently have a little bit of an April sale going on. If you go to the shop right now, you can check out some of the incredible merch, including the fun April Fool's Day collection that includes some Blart Mall Cop-esque inspired gear, saying jokingly. Plus, if you go to the shop now, you can save 20% off your order if you use code BLART. And look, if all you want is a cool, casual place where you can meet some of the other artists or meet other art friends and really get to show off what you have going, maybe consider joining our Discord server, the Artist Sanctuary. We've already accrued an amazing crew of people that absolutely love what they're doing, and every single time I see them post something, it makes me so excited to see what they have to show off. And I think you would be a fantastic addition to that group today. But now, without further ado, please enjoy the Postmodern Art Podcast.
Hi.
Hi, hello, how are you?
I'm good, can't complain. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic now that we're getting the opportunity to do this.
I'm excited. I've never done a podcast interview before.
Well, there you go. There's a first time for everything, isn't there?
Yeah.
Seriously though, thank you so much for taking the time to do this in the first place. I know I saw your stuff a while ago. I'll be honest, it was the Weird Al My Bologna video that got me turned on to your stuff in the first place.
Oh. Thank you. Yeah, I have the puppet right here.
You have the yes. Oh,
yeah.
Oh, I mean,
you have the Weird Al Yankovic here at this podcast.
Yeah. Oh goodness. Okay, good. I can clickbait it. No, I'm joking. I'm not good. No, but like seriously, like I know that was the thing that got me started on your stuff, but trust me, there's a good bit that we're gonna be talking about. I got a good bit of questions and such for us to have a good conversation at the end of the day.
Oh, great.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah,
I'm honored to be featured. No, thank you so much.
I mean, you know, I think we could just go back and forth saying thank you all day, but at the end of the day. All right, Isaiah, before we really get going, I must ask the icebreaker question of the podcast, if I may. Let's say you get to go to a desert island on your own accord. It's just you, alone with your thoughts. You get to kick back, relax, breathe, get truly enjoy yourself for a little bit. With accommodations, you're not stranded on an island. It's like a little personal island paradise for you more than anything else.
Gotcha.
To make sure you don't go completely insane on this island, you can bring one piece of media or one piece of art with you to help with whatever kind of headspace you want on this island. If given this opportunity, what would that one piece be?
Media or art? Gosh, that is a tough one. Could it be like music or anything really?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. Like I'm very loose with like what I consider media and art, but I obviously consider music.
Yeah, okay. This is a tough one. Okay. I'm gonna have to go with I don't know. I feel like if I'm stranded on a desert island and I'm like, okay, what do I do to pass the time? I don't have my art with me. How am I gonna, if I'm potentially ever rescued,
No, no,
like
yeah.
kind of.
Like I said, you're gonna be able to get off the island on your own accord.
Okay, okay,
It's a
good.
little
Okay, good.
paradise.
Okay, I want Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio on the island so I
Ooh.
can be like, hey, I have this piece of media. I'm gonna study it for as long as I'm on this island, and then I can just be like, hey, I'll apply this to my craft. So if I get rescued, I can go, hey, this is what I took from Guillermo del Toro's like movie about a silly puppet. Here's how I can apply it to my silly puppets, and when I do get rescued, it'll have paid off.
I mean, more than anything else, that is like one of, if not quite possibly the peak like pieces of media well within your like realm of art. So I mean, I think it's a really
Oh,
good
yeah.
choice.
No, yeah, absolutely. Just like so in love. Like I could go on and on about it, but like the mechanical puppets and the sets and design, just the fact everything's like so handmade. That's what I come to really appreciate about the stop motion medium. Like, everything's just like made by a person. It's like, especially in the rise of like AI generated stuff, there's just something about like a human touch that's just like just makes everything so much more worth it.
I feel like Guillermo del Toro would say those same exact words and then some.
Yeah.
Like yeah, especially with the way that he put forth and really made that vision after all these years into reality. I mean, it's
Oh,
just
dude, yeah.
it, magnifique.
Yeah, like I was like in development for like 16 years and he just like kept at it, just kept pitching it and just kept perfecting it and like it was yeah, it just blew people's expectations and now it's just like kind of like a cinema classic now. A modern
Absolutely.
classic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But regardless, Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio. That is your answer. You're locking that in.
Yeah, yeah. If I was on a desert island, I'd be like, hey, and Pinocchio did get like kind of stranded at sea at some point, so I could take pointers from this guy. I could be like, hey, Pinocchio, what do I do? Okay.
I mean,
Yeah.
hey, if nothing else, there's just more connections, like obviously the same kind of field that you're into or whatnot, connections with the heroes, stuff like that. It's like it was a movie handcrafted for you in this scenario.
Yeah. And I know people have their opinions about the songs and whatever, but I think the music is just freaking
Mm.
brilliant.
I
Absolutely.
I
It just
think I think they knew exactly what they were going for when it came to the music of that film. Like it was perfect. It matched the tone perfectly.
absolutely. And then there's like themes and stuff that like are consistent within the music and it just comes back and you hear like Geppetto's theme or Pinocchio's or Carlo's. It's just all beautiful. It's like wrapped up with a bow.
Exactly, exactly. And speaking of wrapped up in the bow, let's start wrapping up in a bow this wonderful podcast that you're listening to, the Postmodern Art Podcast. Welcome, everyone.
No.
Welcome, everyone. I am your host, Nathan Ragland. Feel free to like, share, subscribe, or follow whatever audio streaming platform you prefer. I think you would look fantastic in the merch that we have in the merch shop, fourthwall.com. Link to that will be in the description below. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, and TikTok at PostmodArtPod for future updates and guest announcements, including today's guest. He is an animator, model maker, musician, puppeteer, and more, known for his incredible stop-motion masterpieces and his enthusiasm for trains. Welcome to the podcast, Isaiah Ferguson!
Hi, thanks for having me. I'm very honored.
Well, I'm very honored to have you take the time to be here. Well, not like I said before in the little intro, I was first absolutely enthralled with a wonderful little music video that you did that we'll definitely talk about later. But obviously, like really diving deep and seeing kind of how you present your art and like how you've been able to put forth just incredible stuff one after another. It would be a disservice for me not to have you on this podcast. But before we really start on the stuff that you're doing nowadays, I want to go back just a little bit and learn more or less the origin story of Isaiah. What got you interested?
Sure.
What got you interested in art in the first place?
Really just a love of cartoons, really at an early age, just like a lot of the media I was exposed to, like the Peanuts or Hanna-Barbera, or even Veggie Tales, I guess, that sort of thing. Those
Okay.
are like I guess those were like my core animation inspirations, Powerpuff Girls. I was like, hey, this is really cool. I mean, I feel like it didn't really register that I wanted to do this for like a living as a kid. It was just kind of like a thing that was like, hey, it looks pretty neat. Like I just did art and like colored and stuff all the time. It didn't really register that's kind of the career path I wanted to take. I thought I wanted to be like a railroad engineer. And then like when I got like a conversation from someone at my mom's art studio about like the realism and like the timetables and just like the going back and forth, the hours of the day it would take, I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And
That
then I was like, Yeah, you know, it's like that childhood expectation that you want to be a superhero or like a princess sort of thing, but it's not realistic. It's just like, and I have absolute respect for railroad workers. It just wasn't in my vision. I like making trains. I like painting trains. I don't really necessarily think I could like do a whole job that took
You
hours out of my day to
you appreciate
do
the
it.
aesthetic of the trains, but you understand and respect that the work is just not for you when it comes to being on the train itself.
Precisely, yeah. But no, yeah, I just found my love for art at like an early age, and I I took animation classes when I was in eighth grade, I think, and around that period, I was learning Microsoft Paint. I did like the really like kind of cringy MS Paint animations and stuff as a kid. You put in Windows Movie Maker and then just like make things move. I'm like, wow, oh my God, Mom, I made like a Lego guy like walk across the screen. I made his mouth move. Like I like a lot of those like early like YouTube Lego Indiana Jones, SpongeBob, Star Wars like sort of stop motion fan videos like really influenced me on that end. And yeah, I took animation classes starting in eighth grade, going on to high school through this program called CAP, the Sony Community Arts Partnership, which was actually funded by CalArts and like hosted at CalArts for
Okay.
the duration of my time there. And so that's where I kind of got the fundamental like cores and like skills and stuff. And high school, I joined the cinema arts focus program that they offered there, and that also helped kind of not really perfect my craft, but just kind of like really just kind of foster it and like just kind of like learn the ins and outs of editing and like exports and like video and all that sort of thing and just general cinematography. And yeah, and Flash, and then I did 2 years at Santa Monica College where I got an associate's degree in animation and learned TV Paint and some
Okay.
more Adobe Flash, and then transferred over to CalArts, which was a really wonderful experience until the pandemic hit. And a little thing happened in March 2020, and yeah, but no, that's it's kind of been. I know you said you talk about the origin of it, but I guess it's just kind of like leading up to this whole thing as to like why I'm doing what I do, I guess. But
I mean,
that's kind of the ins and out.
I mean, to be fair, I mean, to kind of go with the metaphor of what you were kind of hinting at earlier, whatnot, it's kind of like a train. Like, you can't just stop a train on the dime. Like, it has to, like, eventually, it has to slow to a stop. Sometimes you have to go a little bit further
Exactly.
than you need to, more than anything else.
And you can't put a dime on the tracks. You can't stop a train on a dime, and you can't
Exactly.
put a dime or a penny on the tracks. It's not worth it.
I, I'm sorry, but like we'll definitely talk a lot about the art for a second, like soon enough. But I want to go down this train patch just for a quick second. Like I'm genuinely
Yeah.
curious. Like how did you first like? What was your fascination? Like what made you love trains in the first place? Like was it like a
Okay,
connection for you or whatnot, or
I'll bring him out.
you bring him out?
This guy, this guy.
Ah,
Oh my,
valid.
yeah, I still am huge, huge Thomas the Tank Engine fan. I just loved the model work. I loved, just like the sets. The fact everything was handmade. I actually made this guy.
Oh wow.
Um,
Okay.
really, yeah, yeah. But that's a whole other thing. And then just kind of just really just an appreciation for like, the colors and just the way they work and everything and just kind of made me like think like, hey, I kind of want to make like a train IP of my own that's like not necessarily Thomas or anything, but just that's also true to me and just kind of my own life experiences like as an Afro-Cuban American.
Hmm.
And so I developed this like short film called Chori Choo Choo, which is actually about this
Yes.
mad Cuban breakfast train. This is also a prop I made from it's a stop motion piece I made that I'm actually trying to get developed into a pilot hopefully very soon. It's starting to make the yeah, hopefully, yeah, fingers crossed. It's starting to make like the film festival circuits and everything. It's just about like a magic Cuban breakfast train, and in it there's like a little like a tiny egg driver called like Pepe who like runs it, and then there's this like human station master guy who wears like a chef engineer hat called Fernando, and there's like these crazy cast of characters, and they go all around LA delivering food on this like tiny DoorDash service, essentially.
I, I'm so glad you brought that up because that was something I was actually gonna bring up later on in the podcast more than anything else. Like, because I got a chance to see that short after I got exposed to your stuff, and like I loved that film like so much. Like the charm of it was absolutely beautiful more than anything else. Like I could tell there was even if it was for a school project, or whatnot, I could tell there was a lot of love going into it, and especially a lot of that like the heritage of what you were talking about with like the Afro-Cuban American roots or whatnot. Like I noticed
Thank you
the
so much.
yeah, I noticed a little like Cuban flag on it as it was like going around and stuff, and like
Oh
obviously like
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and like obviously like I assume like the recipe that you did was like a very hearty traditional thing or whatnot. I mean I could be wrong.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was like lechon cola usual. It was just lechon. It's just like a Cuban pork recipe. There's also ropa vieja. That doesn't appear in the thing, but like just going forward, when I developed the pilot, it's just kind of like an introduction of like all this like Cuban cuisine and like just and a celebration of many cultures, but like Cuban representation especially is super
Yes,
important,
I
to
mean
me and to
I was gonna say that's extremely valid first and foremost. Like since we're again on this little train track when it comes to Chori Choo Choo,
yeah.
I'm like was did you develop the concept like for the love of trains, or did you develop the concept? Like, how did the concept for that little short film come to be?
It was during the pandemic. My mentor Steven Kyoto, he was actually also one of the Kyoto brothers. He is what I'm saying was. He they developed Killer Clowns from Outer Space. So that's another tangent.
I
But
need sorry, I need to get in touch with you later about potentially getting because the person that helps me out with the podcast, Tipsy J Hearts, she is a huge Killer Clowns from Outer Space fan, and if we can find,
I got you.
and I was saying if we can find some way to like connect with them and get them on the podcast at some point, I would that would be great.
Yeah, I got you. Yeah. But 100%.
Okay.
But anyway, so like we were just this was in my I guess technically third year, technically second because I transferred in. I had to do 3 years. So I guess second year going in, and then we were still in the midst of the pandemic. They were like, okay, Steven was like, okay, you guys need to come up with a concept for, your not necessarily like your third year film.
Mm-hmm.
And I had two, and then one of them was basically inspired. Obviously, first and foremost, I love trains. That was a
Yes.
given. But I also really loved going in. There were like these certain like Korean Japanese restaurants I've been to as a kid sometimes, and then you see they have these like model like these G scale or LGB for like those no 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 it's like a scale of model train. These train cars that bring the food on the track on a plate to you in this like in
Oh.
these like restaurants. So it's like kind of like there's also like boat equivalents. I think it's like these like RC trains that just kind of bring the food to you. So I was like, hey, what if it was that? But it was like not like just like a toy train. It was like a magic small train that just lived in some guy's kitchen, and he was just like kind of the mastermind controlling it and everything. And like it's like there's like a little bit of like dark comedy to it. If you've seen the short, you know what
Yeah.
happens to the but no, it's all light. It's lighthearted. Anyone can enjoy it. It's like just like a magic world, and then they just like live in this little house, and then sometimes they go out and do these like adventures and like food orders for other people, and yeah, and so that's where Chori Choo Choo kind of came to like sort of existence. So then I pitched that to my professor. He said he loved it, and then just said go ahead and just start storyboarding and animating, and I built all the props in March that following year and completed the trailer for we have this thing at CalArts called the Bijou Fest where that's where they show all the end of the year work for the School of Film and Video.
Mm-hmm.
And so finished the trailer for that. And then a little later on in the summer, I got a lot of help from this really wonderful guy, Dave Merson Hess. I got a shout out. Dave Hess, he's
Ooh.
extremely talented artist, animator guy, wonderful guy. He was in the MFA program. He helped me out. He gave me a bunch of equipment to just finish shooting the film at home, which I did entirely on drag. I think it was like partly on my phone with this like Dragon Frame app, and then some equipment we borrowed from the school, and yeah, just shot the remainder of it at home. Finished it through the summer into September, and then just like had it released kind of like post my third year, going into my fourth year, and And then I guess that one, I'm really happy with a lot of my work, but I think that one just like really personally, just like really resonated with me on a level because I always wanted like this sort of train IP on my own that wasn't just like trains with faces, like Thomas, but like which is nothing wrong with that, but it's
Yeah.
like just something that's also personal to like my own experience, personal to me, and then just like the silly, goofy like cast of characters that just like they fumble a little bit, but they just want to give you a little taste of Cuban cuisine. They want to make you happy,
Yeah.
and yeah, so. Yeah, it's like there's no like dark, sinister layer to it or anything like that. I know, and like I love that brand of surreal, absurdist humor on YouTube, especially. But it's like me, I don't know, I just like happy. I like happy things, like like yeah. And sometimes I'll go into. I love no again. I love like absurdist humor, but like
Hmm.
it's just there's nothing sinister going on with the breakfast train. It's giving you your food. You're
Yeah.
hungry. We gotta feed your stomach.
It- It's a, it's just a bunch of little food fellas that want to make sure that you're nice and well nourished on this delicious Cuban meal. I mean, yeah, it's just,
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, they had to sacrifice themselves for it, but I mean, who wouldn't sacrifice themselves for a good meal,
Yeah,
right?
no, and yeah, and don't worry, you'll that's not the last you'll see of the characters that
Oh,
died
good.
on that train. Spoiler alert. But no, they will be back. And I don't need to explain because it's a cartoon and I
Right.
can do whatever the heck I want.
Exactly, exactly. I, I did want to like one of the lines that you said while describing it was something that I really wanted to emphasize real quickly. That like it was important for you to have that kind of representation, whether it be obviously the trains thing, but also like the Cuban representation in it with like the food and such. Like how important was it for you to make sure that that kind of representation of the things that you love were invested in this film?
Very, yeah, because I learned from my mentor, like there's another really great guy, Jorge Gutierrez, creator of yeah,
Who don't you
you.
know at this point?
Oh my God, well, he also went to Cal Arts too. I
Okay.
was super nice. He actually recently gave a talk. He was like, it's 100%, like this representation is important because if you don't do it, who will? Like you're like the catalyst. But also, it's so important to make sure the stories are also universal.
Yeah.
So like the backdrop is, I'd say the backdrop is like Afro-Cuban food and like, LA, Los Angeles and trains and that sort of thing. But
Hmm.
I guess like the stories are just like at their core, they're just like funny and silly and like everyone like eats, like that's
Yeah.
that's that's a given. Like you eat, and I eat. But like yeah, no, it's just like making stories that like also with like a lesson or whatever. Like I mean, again, we're at the very early developmental phase of Chori Choo Choo, but I think like Jorge taught me, like at the core, you got to keep the morals like universally applicable, but also the backdrop can be, whatever you want, and like, you don't have to listen to any bound like anything. You're just like you're not staying in your lane, just literally just create, and there isn't a lot of Cuban representation. I do want to shout out a couple. I guess there's this great show on Netflix, One Day at a Time.
Oh
Well, it's like
yeah.
a spin-off of an existing show from the 70s that like I really loved and it had like just great practice on that. So it was like, yeah, I could add to this like, growing train of Cuban representation in the media. And so, yeah, like why not do it with like my silly little train series? So
I mean, if nothing else, like I think what Jorge said right there about obviously staying true to yourself more than anything else. I mean, it really showed through with that short, and I can't wait to see how it's going to show through with the series if you truly get to develop. Because, like I said,
thank
when
you.
when I watched it, like I love the charm of it more than anything else. Like I could tell that you're a very charming person. Like when it comes to like really inviting people into like a lovely little world of whimsy more than anything else. Like
Aw.
yeah. Like it was really incredible to see that. I mean, especially I can only imagine the amount of work that kind of went into, especially like most of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is stop motion in the first place, which is another thing that I wanted to,
Yeah,
which I want something I wanted to emphasize in the first place. Like obviously, like you had a love for animation really from the start, but like when did you decide that stop motion was kind of the field of animation you wanted to dive into?
honestly, it wasn't until I went to Cal Arts really and met
Okay.
Steven. So it was like I kind of consider myself like a multimedia animator. So like I do a lot of 2D. It's mainly for lack of like expense, or like because like it's like I have the programs I have at home. I don't have like a whole like studio whenever I can make everything from here and then shoot it. I kind of have to outsource help for that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I guess like really, in Cal Arts, so I was like learning how to make these puppets and stuff, and I realized it was also like just kind of a medium, that wasn't really not necessarily not really explored as much, but it seems a lot less competitive. And I guess in my view, I guess versus a lot of like, because like a lot of there's like storyboarding, there's like there's writing, that sort of thing. Like the animation field is very competitive and like really hard to break into. So I'm just kind of realizing, and I just found like in Cal through Cal Arts and like through I just kind of like a lot of the events I go to here, I just found like this community of like just really stop motion people are like those little like creatures in the woods like by Beatrix Potter you always read about. They always just invite you into your home and give you little like into their little like tree houses and just give you like tea and whatever. It's really like that. Like they're just really like welcoming and hospitable. I've never heard a bad experience, and I guess this can. I mean, I've never heard a bad experience happen in the stop motion realm. And I know you'll always meet like you're always bound to meet like some bad, like not necessarily a bad person, not really someone you're too keen to work with in the animation business. But like I
Right.
guess and in life, genuinely, like not you're not gonna like everyone that you come across, but like there's genuinely some really good vibes I just get from that medium. And like and just going back to it, just like the textures and like just the tactility of it, it's just a very it's just like an object like someone made and like took time to make and handcraft, and there's all the little fingerprints and the details and stuff on that. And then it's like just the painstaking process of just like knowing, oh, you take a picture once, you move it, and then take another picture, and if you mess it up, you have to do another take of that, and then like you and just start over the entire process. If one thing messes up, then that's it. And so like knowing going into that, like experiences like Pinocchio or like Nightmare Before Christmas or what have you, it's like with that knowledge, it's like I guess you develop more of an appreciation for it. And so I'm just like realizing, and that's the other thing. I'm not trying to limit myself to this bubble of stop motion
Right.
because it's like like I said, I do like a lot of multimedia. I learn a lot of Adobe Flash, but I'm trying to teach myself Blender this year to see if that's like a possible medium for where I want to take Chori Choo Choo. And the Weird Al Yankovic thing, actually, that was really more than anything else an excuse just to like try the medium. Because to be fair, Chori Choo Choo, I called it a stop motion film, but it was really more like object based animation because like the human characters and the food characters, those were like 2D animated. But I really wanted to see what I could do with like the actual like the puppetry sort of
Hmm.
angle with it, which is why I just chose to do Weird Al. And who doesn't love Weird Al,
Exactly.
And yeah, and so it was just that, and yeah, and it's like an excuse to do that. And I just kind of learned, it's kind of how you build an audience. Like, you just do things that, obviously, create from the heart, always create from the heart. But, just like, what do people like out there? And then just like, I don't know, like trains, like Weird Al or whatever. And then you just kind of, I don't know, just kind of build an audience, and then they'll kind of check out some of your other work, just follow your creative process, I guess. And
Your kind of art
yeah,
journey, more or less, like seeing kind of everything you've been able to
exactly.
do. Like that's one of the things. Like obviously, I emphasize stop motion, and I think that's because a lot of people, when they do know you, they know you for the big stop motion thing that a lot of people would know you for, which is the Weird Al Yankovic video. But I mean, regardless, like,
Exactly.
but like seeing obviously some of your other stuff. Like it goes back to something I said with the Chori Choo Choo. Like I love kind of the way you present yourself. I love like once again buzzword right here, but I love the charm that seemingly all your art has. Like whether it's like the art style you've worked with and such, like whether it be for Chori Choo Choo or like the music videos that I've seen, or like what was it the Perfect Day, or I forget what exactly the first student film that you did, year two.
I'm trying to remember which one.
It was the one about like I think like the dog had the purse or whatnot going through the city.
Oh, Hot Pursuit. Yeah,
Hot Pursuit.
that
There you
was when
go.
I did my last. Yeah, that was when I did my last year of school, which was actually a concept I came up with at my old college. So it
Okay.
kind of has like a 4 year like growth like journey. It just kind of grew and developed over time, or just became, more concise and shorter than it was originally, and just like it told the story it needed to tell. And
Absolutely. I mean, that was another thing I also wanted to emphasize, like the art style that you more or less like incorporated for yourself and like developed for yourself. Like the way you like either draw, or in the case of the Weird Al one, the way you sculpt people or whatnot. Like, what were the influences behind it? Like, like, I'm
oh,
gonna tell.
definitely.
Sorry, you go
Oh,
ahead.
go ahead. Go ahead. No, you go ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I could tell that like more than anything else with some of it, I like going to one of the things you talked about earlier, I could correct me if I'm wrong. I feel like there's at least a little bit of the Thomas the Tank Engine like influence in kind of your art style, but yeah,
Oh, kinda, yeah, no, like definitely like the just like the sculpting, because like I actually the Thomas I did sculpt the face on my own, so that kind of taught me to, just kind of like caricature like people's faces or whatever or what have you. I'd say like I like I like personally I like the just the slash Calvin and Hobbes Peanuts sort of eyes,
yeah,
I
okay,
guess, and just kind of like the there's like the little simple line gestures like when Snoopy's like looking to the side, it's just like a comma or whatever. I just try to like have that translate somehow in like in like a 3D medium. It's a bit harder to do that versus like in 2D because I was like kind of considering making Al's eyes like kind of interchangeable. But I just kind of realized, they stay fixed, and there's like a lot of like Robot Chicken or whatever. There's like a lot of animation or stop motion animation puppets out there that just kind of like have the single dot eyes, and then they just kind of depend on like the head movement to just kind of convey, they're looking over there, they're looking over here,
mm-hmm.
and I guess more than anything else, body language is important, and yeah, just kind of a lot of just kind of a lot of teaching myself and just kind of like consuming a lot of like just the Charlie Brown, especially the Charlie Brown limited animation technique, especially like on 12s and versus like just the full 24 frames per second. It's really efficient. It's also just like when done right, you just like snap into poses or whatever. It can create this like really effective sort of sense of movement that I just really enjoy, and just kind of just kind of like lighthearted bounciness of it, to the characters that I just kind of really love. And yeah, that's kind of what I tried to practice in what I do, I guess.
I mean, I think you do a job not only embracing it, but really like, but really succeeding with it. And I mean, obviously, the biggest example that a lot of people can see that through. Well, I'll just be blunt. You've been holding the puppet for it this entire
Oh
time.
yeah,
But that is an incredible video that you released like Christmas of last year, which is your own version of Weird Al Yankovic's "My Bologna" or "My Bologna," basically, but
yeah.
"My Bologna."
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah.
I know you said it was more or less like it was you like trying to challenge yourself with like through with stop motion more than anything else. But what inspired you to like go forth with this, and why did you pick specifically that Weird Al song? Because it's a good song to animate.
Okay, so a couple of reasons. There was this project I was like, okay, what if I animated this song in stop motion, but like I don't know, I somehow included Weird Al at the forefront. And I was like, I don't think he was necessarily like the backbone of the project in the first place. It was just kind of something separate. Like, what can
Okay,
I want to start animating these short like stop motion reels so I can like start expanding my portfolio because like I'm out of school. I don't have access to the equipment anymore. I got to stop making these excuses and just like keep going. That's what you do. That's
true.
how anything gets made. So I decided March of last year. I want to say I'll make a Weird Al Yankovic puppet, and that's the thing. There were a few stop motion productions of Weird Al's music. Shout out to Jurassic Park. Shout out to Weasel Stomping Day by Robot Chicken.
Yep.
If there's a few others missing, oh, there was a really beautiful fan music video of the night Santa went crazy. But again, like stop motion is not a very. That's the thing. I don't really like to think of myself as a competitive person, really. I mean,
Right.
the animation industry is competitive in and of itself, but a lot of independent creators, they're friendly and like they love each other and just like I'm just doing my own thing, I think. And so I
Yeah.
just thought I wanted to do my own Weird Al thing in that regard. So when I say it took I guess the entire project took 10 months start to finish. But I say that, but then there was like a lot of kind of procrastination, figuring out how to do things in between making the puppet because like I just kind of took some of the skills I learned when I was in Cal Arts and in Stephen Kyoto's class and
Hmm.
adapted it to making the puppet and just kind of figuring out like how do I sculpt the head? How do I make the body? How do I do the hair, the mouth? In fact, actually, yeah, I brought a few of the mouthpieces.
Oh.
They're just kind of
Oh, don't drop them.
uh, it's not important. Well, no, they're fine. Um, but like
Oh,
yeah, here's
okay.
like, this one. They just kind of swap out. It was just kind of figuring out how to do that. I just studying a lot of material online now, and you just kind of swap out the face like
Oh,
that.
is it like
For
little magnets that hold the mouth in
Ex-
place?
Exactly. Yeah, yeah. You can see there's like a little
Oh.
magnet on the back. It looks a little disturbing without them on, so I'm gonna put the face back on him. Where's a good one?
I
is a good one.
it's just that mouth right there that it currently doesn't have or whatnot. It looks like the Weird Al animatronic for Five Nights at Freddy's or something like that.
Oh my God, it does. No, no, no. They play like a Five Nights at Freddy's version of the theme on the accordion.
Exactly.
Yeah, no. But yeah, no, I finished the puppet in September and I was like, hey, I gotta animate something with this guy. I've spent so much time making the puppet. The song I originally wanted to do, I'm not really feeling anymore. Well, no, no, no. All of Weird Al's music's great. I wanted to be like, hey, okay, what's a song that like a lot of people don't associate with either a video of his or a famous video someone else has done? Hasn't been touched at all that I can possibly do. And I think around my birthday that year, I found out like May 3rd, 1983. That was the year Weird Al's debut album, Weird Al Yankovic, self-titled, came out, and on that, uh, his single, which he re-recorded for that album, My Bologna, also turned 40 that year. And so I was
Okay.
like, and that was also his first ever single he released. It was like the My Bologna single on Capitol Records, and then like B-side, School Cafeteria. Um, so it's like, it's the 40th year. He's had such a long, extensive career, and I can even just do like a snippet of the song. I don't have to animate necessarily the entire thing. I'll just do My Bologna. And it's a catchy song. It's a parody of My Sharona.
Hmm.
The lyrics to that one are a little bit iffy. Don't necessarily condone the lyrics to My Sharona, but My Bologna I can get behind. It's like that's what I love about Weird Al. He'll take a song that's like super like just like I guess like out there and just kind of not necessarily like tactful like blurred lines by Robin Thicke, and he'll take it and like make it a song about learning grammar like
Hmm.
word crimes.
Yep.
That's what I appreciate about his music. Like it's not out of like spite of anyone. It's not he never tries to step on anyone's toes. He always I'm going on about Weird Al. He just always asks permission before he parodies, and
Yeah.
never in mean spirited or anything. So I decided on My Bologna, and I started the animatic back in September, late September-ish, and finished it mid-October. And then here I was like, okay, I'm gonna start making all the props for it now. So I made like a little toaster. I made these like picture frames. I made this like little bologna. I don't have it on me right now, but I made this little pack of bologna, and I just took the thing in Photoshop and then just made like a little graphic for it. I was like, yeah, I talked to oh God, shout out Dave Hess. I mentioned him earlier. Super amazing guy. I
Hmm.
still consult him on everything I do. I showed him like a piece of the animatic, which was like originally a minute long. Fun fact, my character Pepe from Chori Choo Choo, I was like thinking like, should this lean into like maybe like a like a into the Chori Choo Choo universe sort of thing where it's like I put a lot of those guys in there. Um, so you see, like in the original opening, Pepe plays the accordion bit,
Hmm.
but I just decided to kind of leave it out because like it's like 40 seconds. I thought that was like a bit of a sizzle reel, I guess, and like I don't know if it's like kind of like a simp. I don't know, like I don't know if I'm like hinting at anything in the future. Like it would be an honor to work for this guy. First of all, I
Right.
don't know. It's like a little sizzle reel of like what I can do or whatever. Not just for this guy. Just like I just love animating to music videos. Also, that was another big thing that led me to do the song, I guess. And let's see. So I did the props and everything, finished in November, and I called up my old high school, Providence in Burbank. They're actually right across the street from Disney,
Oh,
which
that's
is a whole other
cool.
thing. Yeah, and so I was like, yeah, I was like, I don't know. I think that probably was also an influence, like in what I wanted to do in high school, I guess. And so I just contacted my old school. I was like, hey, I have this project I really want to get off the ground and finish for Christmas. I have all the props and everything ready. Would you be able to help me out? And shout out my lovely, 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 amazing uh, media teacher, Miss Schaefer, Kristen Schaefer. God bless her. She called me up and like she arranged everything for me and was like, "Hey, okay, we're gonna help Isaiah finish this video. We're gonna have the space arranged for you and everything so you can shoot." And no, yeah, and shout out her, Michelle Boucher, and Sean Muir.
Hmm.
They were all amazing. Through like 4 days, it was like there was finals going on, so I didn't want to like intrude on anything or anything on any the students, obviously. Um, so I shot all of the multiplane stuff you see in the video down in the library on the first day. And there it was like, a lot of the Alamatic, I guess, and then like the Dr. Demento, the dancing peanuts sort of mustard and bologna. Yeah, exactly. You got it. You got it. It's like a um but yeah, I shot that in a day. And then like really I was a wire armature. I can't afford ball and socket. I don't really know how to do that professional grade like industry armature just yet.
Mm-hmm.
So like he's like, I and in that respect I haven't actually animated him before. So like really all of that 4 days was really just kind of like just going into it, just like seeing what would happen. And so I animated Weird Al the last 3 days. It was up in the school has like a green screen room,
Mm-hmm.
and in there it's like a giant sound stage, giant like just lights and everything. And I had a kitchen set those last 2 days, and I shot it on that platform. And I used the green screen room to shoot like the scenes with Al with the accordion, and just a few other things. I took a few other like still shots for promotional material and stuff like that there. And I was getting a little panicked because I think I only had 3 days to shoot, but then I think we figured out like we compromised with the school, and I think they let me stay on one more day to shoot. And I was like, I really want to get this out for Christmas. It would be like amazing, if not Christmas, maybe like New Year's Eve-ish or something. But I was like thinking it would be a Christmas miracle literally if I got it out by then. So I finished all the shooting. To give you a rough timeline, the weekend I was just like editing, editing, editing. And so I just most of it was just like looking up tutorials on After Effects, like how to do the specific green screen chroma keying sort of thing. Because like I didn't want to take shortcuts this time. Like sometimes I take shortcuts, whatever, when I'm like, oh, in a pinch or whatever. But I just really wanted to make this like really tied down, really nice and sweet, just be like a portfolio piece, for example. So I was like,
Right.
so I did that. I just like went into After Effects, did a lot of compositing on that end, just like cleaning up things, like just going into green screen and just like going frame by frame, erasing rigs or whatever here and there. And then I think around really late Christmas Eve, going midnight into Christmas, I actually finished it then.
Oh
And I was like, oh my God,
wow.
it's tired, but I did it. And that whole day, I will tell you, that whole Christmas day was a blur. I forgot it was Christmas because I spent all day or like all morning, just like the morning I just kind of spent like kind of putting together the final tweaks and whatever, the credits and whatever. And then around 9 or 10, I finally finished it. I put it up there, and within like it starts to like get a bit of traction, and like I was like, "Merry Christmas," here you go. And I like literally that entire day, I tell you, I forgot it was Christmas. So like I didn't even care about the presents under the tree or whatever. I was like, "Okay, I finished this video for Christmas. It's out." And at 11:11, my lucky hour 11:11, I check my phone and I get a notification from Alfred Yankovic on Instagram. I get a notification. He shared the video. I'm not even kidding. He shared the video to his his Instagram story, and then like through my mom's page, and then like all my friends, my brothers were telling him. He was like, show like like look at this, and then he actually tagged it. Which is really funny. Every time I've tagged him on my story, almost every time, I saw that he actually sees it. So like I kind of know that he was at least somewhat aware that I existed. But like today, that day he shared it, and then like I suddenly got a whole influx of people, just Weird Al fans, and everything. Whoa, oh my God, this is so good, dude! Oh my God, how did you do this and that? And then like he actually commented on it himself. He was like, oh my gosh, thank you so much, Isaiah. And then like I screamed right there. It happened at 11:11. I got that notification. I was like, "Oh my God, Mom, Cletus!" Like, "Oh my God!" I was like shocked. I was absolutely shocked. And his wife commented on it. A few hours later, his drummer John Bermuda Shorts commented on YouTube. I was like, "Holy hell!" And it's like he shared it on his story, and then like just a bunch of people were seeing it. And from there, I don't think things were ever the same again. you know, and no, it was really just that was my Christmas present right there. Like a little later in the day, I got really nice gifts from my siblings, but like
Right,
damn,
right, right.
getting acknowledged by Weird Al Yankovic himself. 800K followers, and then like he just sees like this little guy in Los Angeles just doing this own thing with this little puppet. It's like, damn, something about this he just clicked with, and I was like, wow, I'm very humbled, by that. I was just, damn, it's like literally it doesn't matter who you are, just put your work out there and you will be acknowledge, it's like, and even then, you created something that's true to you, just like the fruits of your work will always pay off. And I just, and like that wasn't really the end of it, because like I realized, I've just been, since I guess that was, I just like realized, I could, just show this around and just like meet new people and just be like, hey, it's gotten me really great opportunities, since there's like a lot of people that like I've been really honored to just like get like invitations to like work for certain like individuals,
Ooh.
or like people and on these projects I'm really excited for. And I've had the opportunity to screen it at different venues around LA. That's the other thing. I did a lot of film festivals and stuff when I was in high school. Um, and it was just a nice opportunity to just get my work out there and just through fresh eyes and just consume it. And then like, I got to submit the Weird Al thing to a couple of things to this like venue in LA called the Silver Lake Shorts, which is this like monthly screening event at LC that happens in LA. And then they show like up to 10 minutes, well, not up to, like, any short up to 10 minutes through at this venue, and the crowd's so supportive. And that was the first time my Bologna actually screened at a public venue. I brought the puppet, and people were like, "Oh my God, this is so cool!" And I should make it. And then I just, and then it just kept going. I got invited to do the Great Film panel, or the Great Film Club, and which is also another thing in downtown LA. Just a lot of these underground indie film clubs. This past week, I was actually at Hot 30 Shorts, which was also at LC, and I got to bring the puppet again. And this time, so Weird Al has this like this fan club thing called the Close Personal Friends of Al, and the guy that manages the fan mail for it, he actually showed up. This really sweet guy. They call him UH Jeff, or Jeff
Okay.
Nucera. Really lovely guy. He bought me dinner. He actually brought this. He brought over an original prop from Weird Al's UHF music video, which was
Right.
also a stop motion prop. It was this bumper car. It's just like like that appears like right behind his shoulder, and it was like 34 years old. And I got a picture of it with Al, and with the Al. I haven't actually met him yet, but like I don't know,
Oh.
it would be crazy, if we cross paths, because I know he does live here. So like I
Yeah.
don't know, it's like really, it's a matter of time. I'm sure it'll happen, but from now I've just been like kind of like going around places, just like new people are seeing it, and then just like as a result get introduced to my other work like Chori Choo Choo or Hot Pursuit, for example, and just like I feel like I'm really reaping the benefits, like not to toot my own horn or anything. I feel like I mean I feel like I don't know, I'm they say you reap what you sow, and I just feel like I just really, I'm glad I reaped this video,
There you
because like
go.
a lot of people love Weird Al, and I guess again going back to what I said earlier, just like find what people like, and then just like kind of tap into that, and then do your own thing with it. And that's the thing. And there wasn't really a Weird Al stop motion video for, because that night, that one of that Santa video, I think that was '96. That was the last time a fan animation was done in stop motion with puppets and everything. So yeah, and it's just been a very very humbling experience, and I've met and made new friends, and just gotten a lot of really exciting opportunities on the way, and I'm just really really humbled, and I have Weird Al to thank for that.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, I know you said like even Christmas alone was just like a whirlwind or whatnot, but I imagine this entire experience since the videos premiered has just been nothing but just a whirlwind of a surreal experience of like just this fun little idea that you have, and then everyone just going absolutely crazy because of how incredible the work was more than anything else.
No, yeah, I was just really humbled by that, because like every artist has doubts about their work, like this, like what is it, just post imposter syndrome,
Yep.
of being an artist. And I'm like, sometimes I think like, what if my work's not that good, like I just feel like I used to spend so much time comparing myself to other artists and just thinking, oh, their work is so much better than mine. And then like I don't know, no one's work is better than anyone's. Like, it's subjective, really. Like, we're all just kind of at our own pace. And again, like, we're not trying to compete against each other. I know there's people that out there that kind of do that, and I'm like, I don't know, it's not my thing. I just like doing what I do. I just like collaborate with my friends. I help them out. They help me out, and I'm just like, a really wise person told me, like doing art is just like introducing your perspective of like your own world experiences to the world. So that's kind of how I view art now. It's just kind of showing what I've experienced through the world through Weird Al. Like you see references to like silly songs with Larry from VeggieTales in the title card. You see the dancing peanuts in the thing. You see the limited animation from the Peanuts in the video. That's like kind of it's Weird Al, but it's an Isaiah Weird Al video. You know,
Yeah.
like there's different perspectives on the whole Weird Al thing. There's like the Mark Osborne and Scott Nordland. They did the Jurassic Park music video. There's a Trapped in the Drive-Thru by Duke Tunes. You know, there's the Fat music video. I could go on. You know, like different people have their different interpretations of the subject. Like you know, you could even like going on with like Winnie the Pooh. There's now that he's copyright free. There's going to be different people like just kind of adapting
Oh
that
yeah.
subject, and like it could be for better or for worse. And probably I don't know. I'm just gonna say I'm not really keen on them like just going into the horror film kind of
I mean,
territory.
they're doing it because it's cheap. That's the main reason why they're doing the
And
horror.
it's cheap. Like, come on, like, do something better with like Mickey Mouse now, like, bro. Like, I don't
Yes.
know, a horror movie, but that's what I'm saying. You know, there's like so many different ways you can take an interpretation of someone's thing. Like, this is my interpretation of the Weird Al thing. Like, someone asked, like, why don't you do the '80s one? Like, which is totally valid. I could definitely could because the head's actually removable, and I have the original like mold for the head if I ever want to go back and like make an '80s version. But I was like, you know, it's also kind of like a tribute to like you know how long he's been in the business for. You know, like he's
Oh
like
yeah.
it's kind of based on his modern look with like you know the longer hair and the mustache and everything, and like you know it's just kind of. You know, just kind of paying my respects in that regard, and like at the same time, you know, going with like the goofy peanut slash eyes and just like the four fingers and the Hawaiian shirt I actually got off eBay.
There you go.
It was a Ken doll. Yeah, again, there's nothing wrong with like repurposing what you've got around the house for like stop
Yeah.
motion puppets or whatever. My friend Natalie very generously tailored it to fit the puppet. And yeah, the Ken shoes and all that, you know, I just tailored to fit everything and it worked out. And yeah, that's it's again, it's my interpretation of like how I see the world and how I see Weird Al, and you know, it's I'm and that I'm happy with, you know,
I
and
mean,
people appreciate it.
I mean, you should. I mean, obviously, people appreciate it. You should be happy with it. That's the one thing that I appreciate a lot. It goes back to what I was talking about with Chori Choo Choo, more than anything else. Like, I could tell a lot of the charm. Like, there was a lot of you in that music video. Like, you talking about like the different influences that you had in that video or whatnot, while still being like true to the Al aesthetic. Like, it was still like Weird Al. It's not like you took it and you molded it to be something that Al wasn't, like some corporate thing or whatnot. No, it's like you made it truly wholesome. You made it truly fun. You made it as Weird Al as possible, but the Isaiah with the Isaiah filter of all those amazing influences to create a absolutely stunning video at the end of the day. Like and honestly, like the more hearing about you talk about like the entire process and like you getting excited about certain aspects of it or like I already love the video beforehand, Isaiah, but hearing you talk about it more and more and more, like I'm excited. I'm antsy. I want to hear more. Tell me everything you can. Like I is absolutely incredible. Like the true
Thank
love and
you.
passion you have for this project.
Thank you so much. Like genuinely, it was just like a labor of love, really. Just helped me make new friends and just learn different techniques along the way with stop motion or like even or like just basic principles of animation, that sort of thing. It was really just a learning experience. And I don't know. Like a lot of people have been saying, you know, maybe you should go back and redo or do the entire song. I'm not. I'm like I feel like right now I'm just like satisfied with like that was my Weird Al take,
Yeah.
but I'm not saying that I'm not open to it in the future. I'm just saying for now, I think I've tapped on Weird Al. I kind of want to I want to use that as like kind of like a bounce a jumping pad, a leaping pad off onto like all my other work. Like, you know, I want to use this to like start developing Chori Choo Choo now and just like doing all these other cool things. Like I'm just like super inspired to just take on animation again after just being stuck at home for so long with
Right.
you know, just like no money and no like industry career and just like, you know, just I gotta create, you know, that's the number one driving force for me. It's art, you know.
And now here you are, not only having that force on full display that people absolutely love and appreciate, but also having so many different doors open that I know you can't really talk about all of them, but still, like it's incredible the fact that you have like incredible opportunities just like right there, and you can go forth and like develop some of your own stuff or whatnot.
No, yeah, I'm very really just genuinely honored. Just like making new friends and just meeting all these new people. I actually did. There's a few things I can talk about. I just recently finished a music video for this Irish singer-songwriter called Gilbert O'Sullivan.
Right.
He wrote this song in the '70s called "Alone Again Naturally." I think it was in the Ice Age movie, or like one of the third ones. That's how a lot of people of our generation know it, because like it was he was like he was a few decades back.
Hmm.
But no, yeah, he came. I did a fan video of that's the thing. I did a fan video of one of his songs, and then he actually came to perform in LA. And then I ended up showing it to him and his like two daughters. Super lovely people. I love Tara and Helen Marie. Then they hired me like literally the next year to just do this music video from his new album called Blue Anchor Bay.
Right.
And it's basically like just a whole uh just his experiences actually also as a student in art college, and he and his friends would go down to Somerset in the UK and then just like spend a whole day on the beach, and even if it rained, they'd just chill in the bus and wait till it stopped. And it was just like a night, it was just a really, that was like kind of like one, that was like kind of before the Weird Al thing actually, and so I completed that, and I was just working on the Weird Al thing kind of simultaneously, I guess. And I was just like, I don't know, like maybe if that worked, maybe I should start doing more like fan videos of the musicians I admire, and like who knows,
I was gonna ask. I know you don't want to. I know you probably don't want to be limited to just music videos, but you did a great job with the Weird Al Yankovic. So I'm genuinely curious: is there an artist or a band that you love that you would love the opportunity just to tinker and toy with one of their songs and present one of them in your style?
I will tell you. Okay, I love Jamiroquai's music. You know the
Yes, yes,
I love Virtual Insanity. I also love Canned Heat, the Napoleon Dynamite
yes,
song.
yes.
Okay, there's Jamiroquai. Uh, really, let me see. There's a song of his that's like an instrumental version that's like just like really beautiful. It's called Slippin' and Slidin'. That's like probably my
Okay,
favorite
okay.
song of all time. I don't know, like if I could do the music video for that or whatever. Obviously Weird Al. I will. I guess I'll put it out there. I'd really love to do Hardware Store.
Yes. Oh my
That was
God.
actually that was the song I was considering before I went into my Bologna. But then
Mm.
yeah, I realized, like I kind of still want to do Hardware Store.
Oh,
Um I guess other musicians. I love the Beach Boys.
that's a
I
good
think
one.
the Beach Boys is really fun. And current day, maybe Steve Lacy or Tyler the Creator would be really fun to do, I
Yeah,
guess.
I mean,
Oh,
I
I
don't know.
see
Yeah, I was gonna say,
yeah, I see your poster right there.
I
Yeah, yeah.
like you talk about modern one. Like Steve Lacy's a good one. Trust me, I love some of the songs from Steve Lacy. But Tyler's like my go-to guy. Like
Oh,
he
absolutely.
he to me is the dream podcast guest more than anything else. I would love to just sit down and have
Oh,
a
yeah,
conversation
yeah.
with him.
Oh my gosh, yeah, like you absolutely go for it. Oh my, he's like super. I think my mom might have met him once actually. He's super.
Who
No,
don't
that's
you
what
know at
happens
this
when you
point?
live. Oh, because when you live in LA, you literally just run into anybody, but obviously you're respectful and tasteful of it.
Of
He was
course, of
super crazy.
course.
He was super sweet, from what I heard, and no, like a lot of his music, it's very personal to him and his own experience, and that's I have just so much respect for people like that. Kendrick
Absolutely.
Lamar is also another really
Yes.
good,
I,
you
I,
know.
you and I just have like this very similar wavelength when it comes like just when it comes to music taste right now. I'm realizing.
Oh yeah, we'll talk more about it even after the podcast if you want.
Oh,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah, but like yeah, music's definitely a thing. There's definitely shows I'd love to get on right now. I guess like I don't know,
Ooh.
the spot like anything Jorge Gutierrez is cooking up with Netflix,
Valid.
whatever. Sign me the heck up. I would join anything he's working on in a heartbeat. I know it's a really tough space in the actual animation industry right now, so that's why I'm just like honing in on indie animation, I guess.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, no, those are a couple of the things I'd love to do, I guess, if the opportunity ever presents itself. Yeah, a feature. I'd be open to feature. I
Yeah.
know there's a new J-Lo Jennifer Lopez Bob the Builder film going on right now.
I forgot about that. I forgot that's a thing.
Oh my, yeah, I'm just saying, I mean, if they want a Latino Bob the Builder, I'm Latino. I know Bob the Builder. Sign me up. I know I think it's gonna be produced by Shadow Machine. I
Okay.
mean, Mattel, if I mean, if you need someone, J-Lo, if you need a guy, I don't know, sign me up. I'm just saying I'm available.
Right there, people.
But
Right there.
yeah, yeah. I don't know. I know the characters. I know the Blue Cat and Scarecrow. I will say. Yeah.
Classic characters.
But yeah, I guess anything Jorge's cooking up, anything, you know, in that realm. I guess I don't know. I'm open to anything. That's the thing. I'm always open to try anything. That's part of it. Never like always like look outside the box too. Just be open to whatever opportunity presents itself. So even if like it was like Disney or whatever, like sure.
I mean, to be fair, being open to certain opportunities is what led you to going down like certain paths with animation and stop motion puppetry. All this different kind of stuff. And here's where you are now, just being open to like trying something creative. So.
Yeah, no, that's how you do it, really. And like you with this podcast, you
Hmm.
never know who you run into. You meet these new people, and they inform your own experience, and like yeah, and then you do your own thing. It's mutually beneficial.
I mean, I can't tell you just based on the conversations with people that I've been able to have with come and go through here, such as yourself, including like really opens my eyes to like the true kind of art. I'll tell you this much because you've been flexing a little bit on like the artists you've gotten to meet and stuff like that. The one that I got to meet that will always be near and dear to my heart. It's like episode 13, so early in the podcast. I met a animator and a storyboard artist by the name of Joe Horn. I don't know if that name remotely rings a bell to you.
What
Um,
did he work on?
well, I was gonna say he was a storyboard artist for the original Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original Sonic the
Oh,
Hedgehog animated series. He was a
I didn't know I was allowed to curse,
he,
but
he was a director for the Boondocks, doing episodes of that, and my personal favorite one, and the one that had a major influence to my childhood. He was the director for the entirety of the run of Class of 3000. If you remember that show.
I do remember that show. Ow, my eye! But yeah, going back a few. Okay, love Boondocks.
Mhm.
I was actually thinking of animating the scene where Riley sees like Mitch Dubois' peach cobbler look like throw up, and you've been eating peas, Mr. Dubois. I'm sorry, your peach cobbler looked like vomit with peas. I love how he just makes a big deal out of nothing, like
Right?
all these terms. And okay, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Love the Rise series, but if we're talking about the 80s one, shout out to the amazing Townsend Coleman, voice of Michelangelo. I know him because
Mhm.
I'm a huge, huge fan of the Tick. Love the Tick. He's a
Yes.
hero guy. And I actually met him during the writer's strike. Super awesome guy. He just told me about like the early days about working at the studio, which is actually right where I get like my hobby supplies, Train Shack, in Burbank. It was. I think the recording booth was actually a few buildings down from it. But no, yeah, we just like kind of. We just like nerded out and stuff. I gave him this little blue plastic spoon that had the Tig's face on it. Super sweet guy. No, I love the early Ninja Turtles. All those guys. It
Yeah,
was
no,
it was
absolutely.
yeah. I had a tape of it on when I was a kid. I think I got from the library. No, but that's awesome, bro. Oh my God. Yeah,
I,
see, yeah, that's what happens. Like you manifest. Yeah, that's how you gotta. That's the only way you get to work and like be make friends with people. Just getting yourself out there. Like
hmm
yeah, like I was just really fortunate to meet a bunch of these people I have looked up to for a long time, and now I can consider friends and just colleagues, especially. And it's just very very humbling. I'm very happy to be where I am right now.
Also, you gotta let me like crash on your couch one day and just like spend like a week in LA and meet some of these cool people that you keep talking
Oh,
about.
oh my God, no, yeah, by all means, if you're ever down here, because like that's the thing, that's how you do it. You go to these they always have these mixers and these like film screenings and everything, and that's how I actually meet people.
Oh
And
yeah.
then you get your work out there. I met Henry Selick, the Nightmare Before Christmas guy, at a screening of Wendell and Wild. Because a friend of mine knew a guy, and then they invited me to the thing, and I just happened to be there, and I was like, wow, So you never know who you meet. So like now, Henry knows I exist. I don't know if he's seen the Weird Al thing or not, but like, yeah, I don't know. Get yourself out there and just meet new people, and good things will follow. you know?
Absolutely. I mean, and I mean more than anything else, like that. I think what you basically described right there is basically a good summary when it comes to just your art journey as a whole. Like, whether you started off like initially thinking about going down the train route before really going all in when it comes to art, to like really devoting yourself to this field on all different aspects and all different mediums, to seeing the wild success you've had as of late. Like, does it amaze you more or less how far you've been able to come along on your art journey?
Yeah, no, I'm very humbled. Like I will say, it wasn't like there were obviously bumps in the road as all people will have. Just like especially if you're like a person of color. Like
Yeah.
that's the thing. And then like you just got to learn to overcome that sort of stuff. And it doesn't matter. Like you're gonna encounter a bunch of bad apples along the road. But just like keep on doing your own thing. I got as far as I was because like I didn't listen to people that told me to stop drawing trains in my notebook in middle school or whatever, and then just yeah, and it just kind of went from there,
And that's
I guess
amazing.
yeah, just keep on, just do you, and like also obviously don't be afraid, always be open to good feedback. There's people that obviously are constructive with their feedback and build you up, and then there's others that just try to cut you down. And
Hmm.
I mean, pick and choose, I guess. But also, I don't know. I am really young. I'm not trying to like talk down or anything. Like I would never try to. But I don't know. Just this is just speaking for myself. Just like do do you, I guess. Like know what inspires you, and then just like use that as a driving force. And I don't know. Like and sometimes I've listened to Jorge. He said like he thrives off of that negativity. Like it just kind of it challenges him to prove those people wrong. And like in that spirit, I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to give those people that power over me. But I told
But
you when I finish like my when I finish Chori Choo Choo or whatever, like at certain people, I told you so. I told you I could do it, I don't know. I'm just like no, 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 I'm kidding.
hey, look, sometimes spite could be a really good driving force. It shouldn't be the driving force, but it could be a driving force.
Sometimes, yeah, no, shout out Jorge. you know I felt like I was able to say that because, like, he did too. So,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, look at basically Jorge's entire career at this point. I mean, like that's just a good example of just like you didn't think I could, but here I am.
he's an animation god, and I have just so much, nothing but the utmost respect. And he's like so sweet, so supportive. He saw the Weird Al thing when it came out. I was actually gonna tell him about the puppet before the last time I saw him. And it's like, oh my gosh, he brought it up on his encore. It's like, wow, like these people actually follow my art journey. Like you said, like these I up people who I look up to. Like they're giving me really constructive feedback, and then just like really good consultation, and just really just kind praise. And I'm just like just 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 really inspires me to just like make the next thing I'm doing bigger and better than the last one. And so yeah,
Absolutely.
I'm just very humbled.
I mean, it's a good thing that despite all of it, it's good that you're able to still stay humble. But for this next question, if I may, let's go a little beyond humble. Let's go above and beyond, if I may, and give you more or less the dream scenario. Let's say I am Big
Hey,
Shot Mr. Moneybags. I come up to you and I'm like, look, Isaiah, we've seen what you've been able to accomplish, and we know that there's a lot more you're able to do. You just need a little extra push, a little extra platform to really get there. We have access to anyone and everyone in whatever industry possible, and more money than it should be possible. We really should be paying for the animators, the strikes coming up, stuff like that. We really should be making sure they're compensated and all that. We'll focus on them in a little bit. We promise. We're focused right now on you and you alone. If given this opportunity, what would be the dream Isaiah Ferguson project?
oh my God, yeah, just something done in Portland. Definitely a stop
Okay.
motion project. I don't know. It does not even necessarily Chori Choo Choo. It doesn't necessarily have to be Chori Choo Choo, but I'm just thinking like some full on Guillermo del Toro-ish Pinocchio inspired sort of like film.
Mm.
Just like maybe even a Chori Choo Choo film. That would be crazy. Just full on stop motion. Maybe some mixed media here and there. Yeah, a bit of that. I'd love like. Does this count people I'd like to work with or?
I mean, yeah. If
Or
there's
is
certain
I
people
mean,
you want to work with, like I said,
okay,
access to
okay,
everyone and anyone. So
okay,
whoever's out
access.
there.
Okay, I'm gonna call up Disney, and I'm gonna call up
Ooh.
Sony. I guess I don't know. I think Sony or rest in peace Blue Sky.
Yep.
But so I think Sony or would be really fun. Add Leica and Shadow Machine. I guess.
Yes.
Yeah, if we're talking stop motion, I'd say those would probably be my go-tos. But yeah, like on Shadow Machine, if they could fund a full Isaiah project and give me all the money and resources in the world and fairly paid and compensated animators, writers, whatever, Shadow Machine and Leica or whatever, and or whatever in Portland, whatever they're cooking in Portland, all the best stop motion stuff's produced in Portland. I'm thinking like maybe if I want to work on a short on like a long-term project there for a bit, I should probably move up there for a few months and just like I don't know, it'd probably be worth it. We'll
I mean,
see.
at this point, it wouldn't hurt, but I mean,
Yeah.
you never know. I mean, your life has led you to some really wild places beforehand. Why not stop now? If you have to go to Portland, why not?
If I have, yeah, and like going back a few things, if I can, I know like I try I'm like I'm I guess back in high school, like we were talking about film festivals and stuff. I actually did submit one that got me into the White House, and
What?
I ended up meeting President Obama. I guess, for lack of a better word.
Who don't you know?
I don't know. Yeah, I just that was the whole thing. It was like they had this like competition for people around kids around the country just to like make a film about like how we could make the world a better place, and
Okay.
I submitted to that and they got me in there for a full day and like a bunch of other students too. Like I think it was like students from all around the country and it was really nice. They had a whole festival out on the lawn and these speakers that came for the day like Leonardo DiCaprio was there. It was Alfre Woodard. The guy that plays the dad on Modern Family was there.
Yes.
Yeah, it was great. It's the Stranger Things kids. Awesome.
Oh,
They
okay.
were all yeah. They were great. Yeah. No, also my Bologna that featured in a Stranger Things episode. Actually, I remember
Oh,
doing
that's
my
right. It
research.
did. Yeah, I remember
It's all
that.
connected. It's all connected.
It's all connected, people.
Yeah. No, this I was that was a really humbling experience. So like yeah, like 100% what you said. Like what a little video can go a long way. You never know what what will get you out there and what opportunities will like be around the corner for you.
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
the train just keeps going.
It does keep going. It does keep going. But sadly, we do gotta get down from the dream scenario just briefly, and we gotta get back to reality. And I'll ask the ever so generic question: where do you hope to see yourself in, say, 5 to 10 years from now?
I hope to see myself just with a good career and good friends and that's corny, but just I don't know, like
I
I'd
mean,
love
if
to
it's
be
true, it's true.
yeah, just a good career and good friends and just like creating stuff on like my dream show or whatever.
Mhm.
By now, hopefully, I'll have produced Chori Choo Choo into some sort of because like I was watching your interview with Nico, and he was talking about
Yes.
all the groups and like yeah, just something along that. I guess like where it's like I have like a series of like probably 13 or so things I can like present and like pitch to someone who will probably pick it up.
Mhm.
I don't know. I'd like to be like just like the showrunner or like something of my own little independent thing. Like it probably be on Netflix or whatever. I don't know. Like depending on like the current state, I don't know. These characters mean a lot to me, and I wouldn't want to just like cheap out on that. I just like continuing to like just better my skills and just like keep meeting people along the way and just just whatever life takes on. I just as long as I'm in a better place in 5 years, I guess I'm just happy. I guess that's what matters.
That is obviously a very good thing to achieve first and foremost. Like just making sure you're happy at the end of the day. And honestly, if you keep up the incredible work you've been doing, I don't see why you don't get there at some point. Um,
Yeah, because like, who wants to be in a job where like they're not happy? Like
right?
that's the what you say, like like in animation or whatever. Like do a job that you love doing, and you'll feel like you'll never work a day in your life.
Hmm. Exactly.
So
That's
yeah,
beautifully worded.
in 5 years, maybe I could end up in Portland for like a few months or so, or just working on stuff.
At this point, who knows where life's going to take you in 5 to 10 years from now, right? Um,
We'll see.
we'll see. As we start to wind down the interview, I just have one last question I want to ask you, Isaiah. Obviously, you have been deeply interested in art for years at this point. Like, it is a major part of your DNA, one way or another. How important is art, not just for you, but for the world as a whole?
Oh, it's so important because like it's a driving influence in a lot of I guess it's been around from the dawn of time, hasn't it? It's like just like people's perspectives, and they warn people, they educate people, they inspire. It's just like I think it's just really important, and especially with the rise of AI, it's like I don't know, it's like it's not really as special. Like like yeah, it's great that you can like write out a prompt, but then like what good is it if it's just a machine and then it's like uncontrollable and it's like it's definitely I see the benefits of it like
Hmm.
100%. It could be used as a tool, but so many people just like use it as the end all be all, and it's like like the we're losing like side of like like humanity, I guess. And especially like the global warming crisis, whatever. Like I'm not gonna go into that, but like I'm like it's like yeah, it's like literally I don't know. It's like you just want to do away with like just the beauty that is like the human experience, because that and the art at the end of the day, art is like human, and like Earth
Yeah.
without art is just So
I'm so glad
I
you
don't want
quoted
to
it. No,
live
no.
in a world where it's just
I'm so glad you quoted that because I literally that was one of the things I ended my first podcast with. That quote of the earth without art is just eh.
Oh, I guess this is a podcast for firsts, like we're going back first, my Bologna was a first, like, Earth Without Art is your first.
Yeah, I know, right? That's absolutely incredible. And I just wanted to say, my little thing when it comes to the AI thing, I just want to say, people are like you said, it should be used as a tool, not the end all be all. Like when it comes to plumbing,
Absolutely.
you're not gonna just throw a monkey wrench on the floor and hope that it fixes your sink. Like, no, you're gonna need a person that
Exactly. Yeah,
you're gonna need a person that knows what they're doing. Like, there's no doubt.
exactly. Yeah.
There's no doubt that AI
Sorry.
has its purposes for certain things, but like you don't need to use it to replace a workforce.
100%. You need people to moderate it, like things could happen. We saw what happened with like the Mitchells versus the Machines. That was
Yep.
kind of like yeah, that was the whole thing. But yeah, no, like 100%. We need art more than ever, and we need because like otherwise, if people like Jorge or like Henry Selick or Weird Al even aren't out there like inspiring the next generation, then who will?
Exactly.
You got to pass
Exactly.
on the torch.
That
Make
that
the world a
is
better place.
that is wonderfully worded, if I do say so myself. Isaiah, that is all the questions I have for you. I've already showered you with a bunch of praise, but I want to shower you a little bit more because it's my podcast. I do what I want. Um, Now, like I said, Isaiah, like when I first saw the My Bologna video, like I was instantly just like enthralled with your stuff. I fell in love with it like 10, 20 fold. Like I watched that video over and over again. I loved it. Deep diving into some of your other work as well, like it was absolutely amazing seeing like the work that you kind of put into to get to this point. Like, because I can certainly tell with just about everything that you did, there's a lot of love and passion behind it. And now getting the chance to sit down and talk with you, seeing that love, that passion, that excitement, that kind of that charm that you have, that again, buzzword again, but still the charm that you have
No,
with just
I'll 100% embrace it. I love charm. I will spam the hell out of charm.
well, there you go. Then, like I said, like the charm that you put in just about every single piece of artwork that I've been able to see, like it makes me like again. I already had a lot of love and respect for what you do, but like at this point, like I want to make sure that you succeed, like more than anything else. Like I will give life and live just to make sure that you get to that point that you want to, because you're doing some absolutely incredible stuff, and I know there's a lot of love and passion behind whatever you do. Like you, as if
Uh,
you like, I know that if you keep up this path, you showcase that love and passion, you keep making those incredible connections, and you really let the world know, hey, this is Isaiah Ferguson. This is what I want to showcase to you people. The people are going to come in flocks and they're going to absolutely love what you have to show. The long and the short of it, from what I'm trying to get to, is thank you so much sincerely for what you do. Thank you for being such an incredible person and
uh,
letting the world see that. And I will be rooting for you every single step of the way that I can, because you absolutely deserve it and then some.
oh, you are literally so sweet. You're just genuinely. I almost cried. Thank you so much. Like genuinely, like I'm just very humbled, and just very blessed. So like, thank you so much, especially for having me on, and genuinely, we'll talk music and Tyler the Creator and all those cool guys later, because genuinely, it seems like you got amazing music taste as well. And and thank you, and like genuinely, just the passion you have for like running this podcast, especially, and just having younger creatives on, and then just like launching their careers, like literally, it's really beneficial. You're helping to shepherd the next generation of artists. So like, thank you for that, like sincerely.
I've always been a person from day one of this podcast, like I say in the intros about every single time. This is a podcast where I give artists the platform I feel like they deserve. And artists such as yourself and
Oh,
just about every single artist I brought on this podcast more than absolutely deserve it for everything that they do. So I thank you for
oh, thank you.
thank you for noticing it. Thank you for those kind words. And thank you once again for the being here. Like thank you for taking the time. This was a
Oh, my
fantastic
pleasure.
conversation. Now, if people want to see why exactly I've been gushing about you for the past hour or so, go ahead and plug your stuff for the people at home.
Sure, yeah. I'm most active on Instagram at art_by_Isaiah. And from there, you can also see my link tree. I have a coffee. I like art's not cheap, if you want to donate, go ahead. I gotta eat.
Mm-hmm.
But also, and I have Twitter. I'm also on art by Isaiah, no underscore. YouTube should be Isaiah F. You'll look up my Bologna Weird Al and the stop motion. That might also come up. And yeah, I guess if you want to see more of my trains, I guess, or like Thomas, I don't know, trains by Isaiah on Instagram is that, and I just post more into detail on how the models are made, that sort of thing. Art by Isaiah on Instagram or by underscore Isaiah is like general, like all my art and just like what I'm doing these days. And then like if I'll post if I'm attending any screenings in Los Angeles or like if I have anything showing or like any new like what's going on, that sort of thing, you'll find me there. And but yeah, no, genuinely, I'm very, very honored and just grateful to just have been featured. So thank you so much.
Well, thank
It
you.
really
Oh, thank you sincerely once again. And I was gonna say real quickly, one of the things you should probably aspire for, maybe past 5 or 10 years or whatnot, make another Thomas the Tank Engine movie that's like bringing it back to the roots of like the live action like models and stuff
they
like
are,
that.
yeah. No, they are making a Thomas movie, I heard, but like there hasn't been, it's kind of been like 4 years since anything was heard about it. So I'm keeping my expectations low, but genuinely if I do like work my way up and they're like, "Hey, we need a Thomas film." I'm like the guy from Bullet Train. I'm like, "Say less," you know? Really, I'm your guy, Like I will make your little talking trains come to life. Just say the word and I'll be there.
There you go. Do you have any final words before we sign off?
Um, Live, laugh, love. No, I'm kidding. Just I'm just kidding. Just keep on creating and just keep on doing what you do and stay classy. I don't know. You rock, and your art needs to be seen. Just keep on creating. And
What?
yeah, and okay, I guess tying into the theme of trains, you don't think you can. You know you can.
Yes, that is a wonderful way to end it on
There.
yours. And with that, all I'd like to say is for the people at home, if you can, pay your artists.
Absolutely, yeah. Artist compensation is so important.
Tell me what's wrong, tell me its parts in motion. Sing me a song, tell me your eyes can all open. Show me it all, pick me up in the car you drove when you used to call. Show me it all.
Thank you so much for sticking around to the end. If this is your first time listening, I greatly do appreciate it. Like I said in the intro, the energy and passion that Isaiah had, especially for what we talked about, it was infectious. I could not get enough of it. Isaiah, if you've gotten up to this point, thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I'm not lying when I say that this was one of the most fun conversations, just seeing all the energy that you had for what you were talking about and all that passion. That energy and passion is the stuff that I crave. It's the stuff that I look for when I'm looking for guests more than anything else. And with Isaiah, I mean, you just watched the episode. You saw exactly what I was talking about. It's that energy, that passion, that love, and that drive more than anything else is why I want to do things like Amateur April. Why I want to do things like this podcast. I want to keep finding people like that. I want to find that excitement, that love for this thing. that drive that is going to carry them ages. And with Isaiah, especially after this conversation, like there's no denying that. Like there is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that Isaiah isn't going places. Like Isaiah is going to go places. He is going to achieve some incredible stuff. He's going to get some incredible opportunities. It would be impossible for me not to see that happen. I mean, I know with dark times looming when it comes to the animation industry as a whole, it might be put a little bit on hold at best, but especially with some of the cool stuff that Isaiah has in the works, there's no denying that it's only a matter of time before he gets the opportunity to really showcase what he can do on all fronts with very little to no limitations. It makes me excited more than anything else. Like, God, I mean, you saw the episode. I don't know what it is about Isaiah. I don't know what it is about him, but it's exciting. It really is. I mean, obviously the work alone speaks volumes. I mean, we all saw the My Bologna video. Like, we saw the time and effort that went into that. But, like, you could tell Isaiah has something special. And it makes me honored more than anything else, not just to have him on the podcast, but to consider him a friend at this point. Because that special thing is going to create incredible opportunities one way or another for several people to come. And I am ecstatic to see where that goes. And if you guys have that love and passion and excitement yourself, like don't shelter it, don't halt it. Let it all out. Let the people know what you love and what you're passionate about. Because if you really put down full display, people are going to notice and people are going to think that you've got something special coming your way. Please keep up the incredible work and please keep doing incredible stuff. And Isaiah, that especially goes to you. Please, please, please keep up the incredible work because you're doing fantastic stuff. And I cannot wait to see what happens with everyone. I cannot wait to see what happens next.